Good evening, everybody. How is it going? FPL's back for real now. Game week 1 is over. If you're anything like me, you spent most of your weekend with your head in your phone, seeing who's got bonus points, who scored well. I've been out and about today, so all I've been getting is updates of there's been a score, there's been a goal. But yeah, pretty good week, I think, for most people. I'm sure there's going to be some in the low 40s, 50s who are a bit disappointed. But I think overall, most people had at least one or two of the players that did really well, like Salah, of course, Richarlison, Robertson, Mendy, anyone from Crystal Palace. Ridiculous. Van Bissaka on my bench as well as everyone else's as well. So it was a good week. A good game week 1 week for those that put in the plan, I think. I've got 83 points. There's plenty of people already beating me, but I've come away with 174k game week rank, I think. So obviously that's what my overall rank will be for game week 1. So yeah, decent. I'm happy. Before we get into it, I'm just going to play the video from the sponsor of the stream, fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. So we'll just get that done now, and then we will start off with the questions and stuff. Thanks once again, even to fantasyfootballscout.co.uk for sponsoring the stream. Check them out if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Even though it's not pre-season, the price is still £12.50, at least when I checked earlier, so hopefully it'll stay that price for a little bit. I'll try and find out exactly when that changes. And we reckon I'll take a look at some of the stuff from the site later on. Now the season started, obviously you can start seeing stats and things from this season. Let you know whether Alonso's doing better or worse than last year. I've got a cool heat map to show you for him. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But fantasyfootballscout.co.uk, links in the description below. Click it if you want to check them out. Loads of cool member stuff. Am I planning on swapping out Sanchez? I was thinking about doing this stream, the stream after the game week, maybe with a little bit of structure in some way. So I could go through my team and then we can go through the games really quick and just give my thoughts on the bandwagons. I don't know, I could just answer questions straight from chat and do it how we've always done it. Yeah, whatever you guys want, really. Matt, how's it going? I saw you, I thought I was going to see you tonight, Matt. Maybe it's a coincidence, but I think you did really well, right? I saw you on Twitter saying really, had a really good score. Physio, yeah, Instagram. For anyone that's not following me already, Twitter links, Instagram links are in the description below as well. Twitter, yeah, obviously been on there for ages, but I've started to do Instagram live a bit. I quite like that for just going online quick for a stream for a few minutes, just talk about the game that's just happened, the weekend, like on Saturday night once all the games are finished and stuff like that. Just for a few minutes, and then obviously leaving the proper streams to YouTube. So follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I'm still trying to work it out. It took me about 5 minutes to work out how to go live the other day, so I'm just an old man who can't work out the new social media. Do I want to hear luck? You transferred out Arnie, Ryan and Bailly for Van Arnold, Foster and Zaha an hour before the deadline. Very nice. So, love the Instagram live for kitchen decor ideas. It was cool doing it in the kitchen. Bit better than the white background here. Walker versus Mendy. I mean, 0.5 million. There's only one man for the job. Benjamin Mendy. What a legend already. Hi from Mauritius. How's it going? 103 points. Oof. Yeah, so if anyone was following me on Twitter, you'd see that I wasn't panicking, but I was looking at some transfers to make last minute. Basically saw that Pogba was likely to start. So I was going to do Sanchez and Jota to Pogba and Mahrez. So of course Pogba scored more than Sanchez, but Mahrez didn't do anything. So it could have been Mane, it could have been Eriksen, whatever. I kept Sanchez. I mean, to be fair, we're only a bad Lukaku finish away from... only a good Lukaku finish away from Sanchez getting another 3 points for the assist. potentially some bonus points. Could have been 8+ for him, so I wouldn't have been too mad about that. But Lukaku obviously didn't put it away. So Sanchez lost the ball a lot. He does that all the time. He did that at Arsenal as well. Maybe it was worse last night or on Friday night. And he didn't seem to be able to pick a pass for the most part. It was always just too short. So I thought Sanchez was fairly poor. And Mourinho, I think, did say he would have taken him off if he had another substitute. But I've got to keep him for Brighton away. I don't like making a transfer in game week 2 because there's still too much up in the air. You know, Lacazette didn't start. Would he start against Chelsea? Ramsey played kind of the number 10-ish role. I didn't see the game. I didn't see too much of the game, like the first half. But, you know, will he continue to play? Did he come off early just because of his injury? Is he, I don't know, fit and ready to go for the next week? Will Hazard play? And if he plays, will Pedro or Willian miss out? So there's still lots of stuff to kind of think about next week. So I don't want to make a transfer in game week 2, basically. It's too knee-jerk. You know, I could go Sanchez to Mane, but Mane has Crystal Palace, who did fairly well against Fulham. Although Hennessy did do really well to keep them to keep a clean sheet. You know, I could go Sanchez to, I don't know, Eriksen, a Man City mid, De Bruyne, but I just don't see the point. Don't have enough info, I don't think, to make a transfer. So for me, Sanchez is staying. Sanchez to Pogba, yeah, okay, that could be done. I don't know. I'd rather go into game week 3 with 2 free transfers, and maybe I can make 2 or 3 transfers and completely overhaul the team. You know, Sanchez, De Bruyne looks good now, but will De Bruyne definitely start the next game? I mean, Sanchez will. Is Richarlison injured? I don't know any further info more than you at this point. We've not really heard anything. I've not seen anything. A lot of people saying it looked like cramp. So I'm not panicking over him. It doesn't look like it's going to be a long-term injury anyway. And the man scored 2 goals. That was such a nice finish as well for his second goal. I mean, I think it was 2 shots on target and 2 goals. So I suppose make of that what you will. We saw last year that his finishing wasn't great, but he is young. Can only improve, I think. So I'm hopeful he's going to play. I'm not panicking about Richarlison. I definitely want him in my team. Okay, first goal, right place, right time, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Bernardo Silva looks untouchable. Yeah, fair play if you got him in. Nice finish for the goal. It'd be interesting to see Man City's lineup next game, because I would assume De Bruyne will start, and obviously he came on for Mahrez. Was Mahrez good enough? A lot of people saying he just doesn't... Obviously it's early days, but looking like he doesn't really fit in with the system too well. Maybe he's a bit slow. He wants to slow the play down instead of keeping the speed up. So obviously Man City like to attack with speed. Mendy, by the way, let's just talk about Mendy for a sec, even though you've all seen him, you've seen how good he was. He was so far forward. I remember when Alonso first kind of played in that 3 at the back system as the wing back, and I watched him, and I just thought, I can't watch any Chelsea games without Alonso in my team, and I got that kind of feel. I've obviously got Mendy already, but if I didn't have Mendy, I wouldn't want to watch Man City. There was 2 or 3 times towards the end of the game where Bernardo Silva should have played him in, De Bruyne should have played him in, he would have been through on goal. We could have been looking at an absolute monster haul. And I know, you know, if someone played the right ball, if someone, you know, played the right pass, you could say that for all games, but scoring 15 points and potentially, you know, should have had more. I mean, that is just crazy. Now, Pep has come out and said he's not the finished article, he does make mistakes, but I don't know. I just think he's the one that's going to create the width on the left, and they're not going to use Sané as much. We'll see if Sané plays against Huddersfield. I don't know, Mendy just looks too good. We'll see. But I tweeted out a picture of him. I mean, it wasn't even a counter attack. They won the ball back, and he just happened to be up there already. And I mean, it's 2-0 up. Man City don't really protect leads, I suppose. They just carry on going for it. But he was so far up the pitch, it was ridiculous. But there we go. How many did you score? 83. How about Mendy captain against Huddersfield? So no matter how good Mendy is, I'll never captain a defender. How's it going, Lee and Sam, FPL family? Follow them if you haven't already. Especially if you like earlier streams. They usually stream a bit earlier than me. So if you're around then, you can check them out too. 86 points, very nice. Talking about someone else who was way further up the field than I was kind of expecting was Kante against Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying we all go out and rush and buy Kante and like swap out Sanchez and Mane and Richarlison for Kante, but it does look like he's going to get a few more returns than normal. Because I still haven't got the pronunciation right, but Jorginho, he looks like the one that's going to be sat back more. And Kante gets to go forward. Now, he's not going to be Pedro, Willian, Hazard, etc., of course, but for 5 million, he could be the one to have on your bench if you've got that extra 0.5 to spend. Simon March did call it, yeah, fair play to him. I mean, the finish left a little bit to be desired, of course. Who else is there? Jota, not too sure what to make of him. Didn't really have a great game, to be honest. I mean, Everton were down to 10, so it's quite hard to say kind of how Wolves were playing. Another game where it's maybe the other team's a bit more attacking. But yeah, not sure what to make of him. But like I said, I'm not gonna waste a transfer this week, so I'll give him another week. But yeah, Maddison. Again, I want to see more from him because he played really well in the first half, and then second half, both he and Leicester really didn't really do a whole lot, to be honest. Right until right at the end, of course, which was really annoying. So yeah, Maddison looks good. It looks like everything's going to go through him. He's on set pieces. I don't know if there's a massive rush to get him in this week, but they do have a pretty nice run of fixtures and 6.5 million. He could be good. Could be the new Sigurdsson. Kind of Leicester probably not as bad as Swansea were, but kind of the man that everything goes through on all set pieces. Most set pieces, probably not penalties, but yeah, he looked good. 6.5 million, I liked him. But again, I just don't know if it's worth making that transfer right now. Oh, he could have scored as well. Davern made a great save. FPL today, J&O, how's it going? Maddison has a future with fantasy football. Yeah, lots of people saying that. We'll see. Oh my god. Not even going to try and keep up with the questions. Vardy looks fixture proof. Vardy looks fixture proof as long as he's playing the top 6. He's the destroyer of top 6 teams. Seriously. As soon as he came on, I thought that's the clean sheet gone. Can you admit being a Man United fan made you choose Sanchez over Mane? I mean, I put a whole thread about the fact that I veer towards Man United players, so yep. Howard Wallowitz, how's it going? How's the Big Bang Theory? You swapped Sanchez out for Mane already. Please validate this knee-jerk decision. So for anyone that doesn't usually watch these streams, I don't wear a suit every week, unfortunately. Maybe that'll make more people watch. I don't know. But yeah, I don't wear the suit. It was only because it was pre-season coming into the first game week. Next time you see the suit will probably be the last stream of the season. Is it too soon? I mean, for me, most transfers this week is too soon. But at the same time, I'm quite a risk-averse player. I would like to see what happens in Game Week 2 before I make any decisions. If Mane smashes against Palace and Sanchez kind of has another poor game and doesn't get too many returns, then it looks like a great move. You've got £1 more million to spend as well. But for me, I would probably hold off as much as possible. One thing to say as well, if you haven't already, hit like on the stream. That'd be much appreciated if you're enjoying it, of course. And if you're new around here, hit subscribe. There's also 5 polls that you can vote on in the top right hand corner. So, are you planning a Game Week 2 transfer? Sanchez, stick or twist. Aguero, stick or twist. Which Man City mid is a must-have, and who's the best Game Week 1 bandwagon? They've all come in from Twitter, those questions. I always ask for the polls before I go on stream. So if you want to get your poll question up there next time, just check out a tweet. I usually put the tweet out about an hour before the stream starts. Should you transfer out Pedro? I mean, my first question would be, why would you transfer out Pedro? Why are you thinking of doing that? He just scored. He could start. We don't know for sure, but he could. Yeah. I don't know why you'd look to get rid of Pedro personally. Oh, excuse me. Considering a 4-4-2 with 4 left backs. Left backs, man. That was genuinely when I put Van Arnold in my team. I did think, oh, they're all left backs. That looks nice. In the end, I basically went for Man United coverage. I'll be honest. And I had 5.5 million spent, so rather than get Shaw, I spent it all on Bailly, who I thought would be more nailed, and he probably still will be. We'll see how Mourinho treats Shaw. So I went for Man United coverage in the end. But yeah, I could have had 3 left backs. Although obviously if you pick Davis, not so good. What would I do with Lucas Moura? I feel like I'm going to say this to every question. I would keep him. There's no reason why he won't start the next game. It's Fulham at home. I didn't catch any of the Spurs game, I'll be honest. I don't know where I was actually. I was out anyway. I would keep Fulham at home. Son's gone to the Asian Games now. Should hopefully start again. I think you got to keep. I don't know if there's any players who I think to myself, you've got to get rid of them. I'm trying to think if any big names didn't start. And even then, if they didn't start, like Hazard, De Bruyne, they probably will next time. There you go. Moira was icing his groin when he came off. I'd watch for news. Well, yeah, press conference news is always a good shout. Is King to Wilson too knee-jerk? I mean, if you look at the stats of those two, Wilson absolutely smashed it. And when I was watching the highlights of Match of the Day, Wilson and Fraser as well, actually, caused Cardiff defence some real problems. Now, King was still involved, but not maybe, getting on the end of chances. Maybe it looked like Wilson and Fraser were kind of getting in the box more. I've not checked the stats to see if that's true, but from the highlights, that's what it looked like. And King was maybe staying a bit deeper. But I think it's too knee-jerk to make that swap now. Aguero captain for game week 2. Yeah. Not sure about that now. I'm not sure about that as much as I was before game week 1. The problem with Aguero captain now is there's always that Jesus problem, of course. And I just wonder how much Pep will hate that chance at the end when Aguero should have squared it easily to De Bruyne and they could have got another goal. But on the other hand, it makes me think that I'm overthinking it. It's Huddersfield at home. He could just start again, and he could absolutely smash it. And Salah is away to Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace got a clean sheet, but they gave up quite a few chances to Fulham, and it really was just down to Hennessy that they kept a clean sheet. Mitrovic did really well. Schürrle looked good too for 6 million. Should have been a penalty as well. So Palace could have conceded. So it's hard to take the armband off. It's hard to take the armband off Salah. We'll see. We'll see. I'm tempted to captain him just because I don't know. Maybe this is illogical thinking, but I'm tempted to captain Aguero this week because I feel like this early on in the season, yes, okay, I could get punished by Salah, but it wouldn't be the end of the world like it would be if it was the end of the season. I'm chasing rank. So I am looking at Aguero captain. I still have him captain right now, but obviously it's very easy this early on to have him captain. So I don't know. And then back to Salah probably in game week 3. Don't count Aguero. Salah can really punish you. Yeah, I mean, you could look at the ownership thing. Salah's owned by more. He'll get captain by more, so I could just play safe. Obviously, I'm not saying Aguero for definite, but I want to do Aguero. Like in the back of my mind, I'm saying I should captain him. Whether I will or not is a whole different thing. It is Huddersfield at home though, and I think when City played Huddersfield at home last year, did they lose or did they draw? I think they might have drawn 0-0, but I think it's such different circumstances. City had already won the league at that point. Huddersfield were fighting for their life. This is game week 2. Man City obviously want to smash it, get ahead early. And with those fixtures, they can do that. I dread to think how much they'll be ahead of the league after the first kind of 7 or 8 fixtures. So if Aguero starts, obviously you've got to be confident of goals. I mean, he didn't look great today, but it was Arsenal. Huddersfield, just different ball game, really. Just one other thing to do as well before we carry on. The Patreon guys, so the page is updated. So shout out to all the producers: Dean P, Madcheck, Alex C, Kenneth DT, Christopher M, Connor S, and Andreas G, who is new patron this stream around. So thanks very much for that. And then the other new patron is Alexander VH. So they're all in now. If you want to check that out, links in the description below. As I said before, all YouTube stuff, videos, articles and stuff are all still absolutely free and available to anyone and everyone. Remember last week's Aguero? Yeah, true, against Chelsea. Yeah, I think Shaw will start again. There's rumours actually that one of the good Man United journalists actually saying that Darmian still wants to push for a move away. So if he does push for a move away while Valencia's injured, I'm not quite sure how long he's out for. Ashley Young could play right back and Luke Shaw could play left back. Once Valencia and Young are back, then who knows? What about Morata for Chelsea? I wouldn't be going there, I don't think. 9 million. I watched most of that game. And he was he's like the target man. He was kind of playing in Willian and Pedro. He wasn't really getting... he wasn't really getting on the end of stuff. Willian in particular was played in quite a bit. So I'm not sure I'll be spending 9 million on him. Pereira, yeah, looks really good. I don't know if anyone follows a guy called Tom Campbell on Twitter, but he made a really good thread of kind of stats and stuff that you might have missed from last season. And Pereira was in there as someone who did really well last season. I actually had him in a super early draft. Didn't really consider him for Game Week 1, so not ruin that or anything. But the only problem with him is, and bear with me just a sec while I pull him up, the fixtures are not great. So I think in the next 4 they play Burnley away, which is never a good fixture for goals, and then Spurs and Man United at home, and then Crystal Palace at home in between that. So for me, I'm not sure I'd be knee-jerking Pereira in personally. Chelsea will be a different team with Hazard and Kovacic in the team. Yeah, exactly, and that's why I want to wait until at least Game Week 2 to see what happens. Pereira is also linked with a move away. Isn't that... So people were talking about that pre-season. Was it Inter Milan? Opinions on Josh King. What I'd really like to know, actually, is whether the thing is real that whoever wins the penalty takes it. It'd be interesting to know if that's true. Because that's a shame, because we want Josh King on penalties. But obviously after Wilson missed, maybe he'll be back on them. I'm keeping him for the second fixture. We'll see what happens. Torino, okay. Pereira, we're talking about Watford Pereira. Yeah, as some people have pointed out as well, his stats are way better at home than, or form at least, is way better at home than away. And it is Spurs and Man United. Yeah, I wouldn't be too sure about points there. Holobas, 4.5 million. We all overlooked him. What do I think about Bernardo Silva? Will he play next game week? I think he will. I think, if anything, De Bruyne might come in for Mahrez. I don't want to scaremonger people into getting rid of Mahrez, because I don't think you should. But De Bruyne has to get into that team. It could be Gundogan, I suppose. Yeah, maybe they'll keep Mahrez in. It's tough. I want to look up how often Pep rotated last year, because obviously the likes of Sterling's going to play most games. I think he's just integral to the way they play. He had the most touches in the box from Man City today. De Bruyne is definitely going to play. They're pretty much always going to play with one striker. But Bernardo Silva, he did say it's him plus 10. Now whether that was fitness or form, I don't know. I'd say it's probably form the way he's played. So yeah, De Bruyne could just come in for Gundogan, and maybe Bernardo Silva will play. Just keep playing. We'll see. I don't know, he looked good again today. Obviously, he was in the right place, right time, kind of running to the box for the goal. 7.5 million. I suppose there's not too much to dislike about him. He did well when he played last year. Obviously, he was playing a bit, at least on paper, a bit further forward. Yeah, Man City's fixtures are unreal. I would like a third Man City player. Well, I'd like a third Liverpool player as well, actually. I still don't know which midfielder to get, though, from City, to be honest. De Bruyne, I suppose. Sanchez is De Bruyne for Huddersfield at home, but I'm going to have to keep Sanchez for now. First ever time watching, but watch Fantasy Football Scout. How's it going, Angus? We stat of the week. 90 bonus points this weekend. Only 3 were for strikers. Is this a pattern? I knew I should have gone 3-5-2. I wouldn't discount strikers just yet. Like Aubameyang, for example. He's got another tough fixture, but then it gets good for him. So could he do it? I mean, unless Wilson did well, but just none of us had him. Mitrovic could have got goals. Zaha got points but got a yellow card. The problem with Zaha was he didn't finish with many bonus points, so he's not looking like he's going to do too well there. Arnautovic had a tough fixture. I think he's got Bournemouth at home next, so he could do well. I wouldn't discount strikers right now, but yeah, 3-5-2 eventually could be the way to go. We'll have to see. I'm happy enough with my strike force at the moment. What time are the price updates? I think it's 2:15 or 1:15. Can't remember. Depends on the time of the year, but I can't remember which one it is in British summertime. I guess 2:15. Yeah, I think everyone that had Mendy was buzzing. Classic Kane in August. I hope he scores against Fulham. Seriously, this curse thing is just having to listen to it all the time. Like, no one like Harry Kane cannot just score just because it's August, but he looked knackered. Everyone's saying he looked knackered. Just didn't look... I don't know. I saw the highlights again on Match of the Day. You see him before, he would like create a chance out of nothing or create his own chance. He just looks like when he gets on the ball, it's almost like he... I don't know, he's overthinking. Like, what do I do next? Been rushed back, obviously, from the World Cup. And to be fair, a lot of players played at the World Cup who we maybe weren't expecting. I suppose now the thing is how tired will they be throughout the season? Will they have to be rotated more throughout the season? Not sure. Alex, how's it going? Yeah, new Patreon. I did put you up on the screen earlier. Hopefully you're around for that. If not, just rewind a bit and you'll see. Better than meeting a real celeb. Interesting point. Kane has the World Cup excuse this year, but for August to be a problem every year, we have to assume he simply doesn't take care of himself in the off-season. Oh, I hope he scores. Can we take any positives from Arsenal today? I think Ramsey was pretty far forward. Cheers, Matthew. Thanks very much. By the way, Matthew, obviously it's completely up to you. I know you're a sponsor on here and you have done for ages. Check out Patreon if you want, because you'll get into... I think it's about the same price. You'll get into the league and stuff, which has got prizes. So take a look at that if you want to switch. Yeah, Ramsey went off early. I would say that's probably because he had an injury recently. We'll have to see. Maybe Emery will say something about it. But yeah, Ramsey looked high enough. Bellerin, pretty attacking. Aubameyang, a couple of chances. It's very hard. I don't like rating any team that has to play Man City. I mean, look at Chelsea. They walked that Huddersfield game. Scored 3 goals without really kind of stepping out of first gear. And they were rubbish against City. So I wouldn't discount Arsenal just yet. I mean, in 2 game weeks' time, they have a really nice set of fixtures. Tom voted for Pereira in your poll. I mentioned you earlier, actually, Tom, with your thread about Pereira. You actually made me have him in an early draft, but eventually I forgot about him. Are there any Man City players guaranteed start? Such depth from picking, they're focused on titles, not FPL. I know. Can you believe they're not thinking about FPL? Managers need to cop on. Are there any that are guaranteed start? Edison. I mean, guaranteed. I would never guarantee a start for nearly any player. I think I've always say this. I think there's different levels of nailed onness. So Ederson nailed, Walker nailed, De Bruyne and Sterling probably like next down from that, I'd say. So mostly nailed, if you want to call it that. And then Mendy is probably in the mostly nailed as well. And who knows after that? Aguero's got Jesus. Bernardo Silva looks good right now. I mean, where's David Silva? Sané is just waiting around, had a full rest, but still can't get in. So I would say Ederson and Walker nailed. De Bruyne and Sterling pretty close behind, and you've probably got to put Mendy there as well. I mean, Delph did really well, but it's just in that team, the way they play, he's just not Mendy. Just not going to get forward enough. So guaranteed, I'd only guarantee you Ederson and probably Walker. But personally, if I could wildcard right now, which obviously I can, if I could wildcard without actually using my wildcard, I would have De Bruyne in my team, I think. Just because of that run of fixtures. What do I think about Sigurdsson? I would say don't panic if you've got Sigurdsson. He was very unlucky to go off. Although part of me does think he was sacrificed pretty quick. I mean, we don't know what the thinking was there, but I mean, obviously, yeah, he was the one that was sacrificed. It's a bit annoying, but you got to think he's just going to start next game as normal. Not on all free kicks and stuff. Like Baines, I know took at least one, potentially more. But with Mina and Keane and stuff to aim at in the box on free kicks and corners and stuff, I think he'd do well. The question is he worth 1 million over a Richarlison? I didn't think he was when I made my Game Week 1 team, and I'm still not convinced yet. But Mina has got a serious goal threat, and he should be in the side. We'll have to see what Silva says about him. But I'd assume he'd be in the side sooner rather than later. Van Bissaka on the bench, I feel you. Honestly, I'm not. I know everyone's moaning about having him on the bench, but like we pick our bench so that we can get points if they have to come on, and then we get annoyed when they get points. So it's like a weird situation for me. Like, yeah, okay, sure, I would have been happy if... I mean, to be honest, I was thinking if Robertson or Mendy missed out, it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, look what they scored. So obviously, yeah, if Aguero had missed out, for example, then it would have been really good for me, but whatever, really. It sucks, but you move on. Most people bench him. Like, why would they have played him? Why would I play him ahead of Robertson, Bailly and Mendy? I mean, maybe now I'll be a little bit less certain to bench him, but I'm benching him this week. So why are they taking so long to update the league ranks? I think it usually takes this long. Salah is the Monday night game in Game Week 2. Oof. Oh, he's got to be captain then, hasn't he? When does Aguero play on Sunday? Oh, it's got to be Salah now. Put Mina in my team yesterday. Yeah, 5.5 million. Decent. If it was 5, I'd have him straight in. At 5.5, I do think he'll do well. I just want to see Everton keep some clean sheets first with him in the team. I'm not sure what's happening with price rises. FPL statistics is usually what I check. Well, let's do a quick members area looky from fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. I'm just going to work out which one to do first. Okay, so there's a few interesting things. I'll show you two things. So if you want to check them out, links in the description below. There's loads of stuff you can do in the members area. Let me switch over. Yeah, loads of stuff you can do on the left here. So rate my team. You can create your own stats tables, compare players, etc., etc. So one thing to show you now how the rate my team works now the season's live is you can still build your own team, but it will just take your... So 157 is my rank from last year, actually. 662 is my ID. Sorry, not rank, ID. 662 is my ID for this year, so you can just put that in. And then it will show you your team and kind of what kind of score you're looking at over the next 6 weeks. You can make it to a later game week if you want. And basically, if you're thinking of doing a transfer, you can take out the player you're thinking of transferring out, put in the player you're thinking of transferring in, and just seeing whether you potentially get a better score. So they rate Sanchez quite highly. They think he's going to be quite involved. So those of you saying do Sanchez out, so 58 points I was on this week. Put Mane in, down to, after transfers, slightly lower, but I mean, Mane might get a boost after how well he did today, because there'll be human input in this as well. So that's the rate my team thing. And then, so this one's interesting. This is Marcus Alonso. Now, obviously, we've only got a very small sample size, but remember, it was Huddersfield. That's the kind of game you'd expect him to attack in. So on the left is Marcus Alonso from this year, and on the right is Marcus Alonso from last year. So on the heat map, it didn't get as far forward. It did a few times, but most of the time he kind of stopped maybe, I don't know, halfway to goal, whereas last year he was getting into the box much, much more. So that's just another thing you can do. You can compare two different players, or you can even compare the same player from different game weeks and different years. So if you want to check any of that stuff out, click the link in the description below. There's loads of member stuff, and the link will show you exactly what's available. So check them out, fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. But yeah, Alonso, really interesting, I thought. We'll have to see over like the next kind of eight game weeks or so, 6 to 8 game weeks, I suppose, how well he did. Yeah, I can't show every heat map. If you want to check it out, you'll have to go and check it out yourself. I can't show every single one. There's loads of good stuff over there. But Alonso one I thought was really interesting. Would I captain Salah if Liverpool were playing City in Game Week 2? Probably, only because, well, I maybe captain Sanchez. How's it going, Stephen? I mean, really, we're only basing it off one game. So if you base it off that one game, you could say, no, he's not a good option. But I'd like to see him in another couple first. At least the West Ham game. Let's see if he gets more involved, makes more runs into the box. Maybe he takes the next penalty. What I'd love to see is Wilson win a penalty and King take it. So I think King's one of those players now. You're not bringing him in right now. Fair enough. After the Cardiff game. But if you've got him, I think you can hold at least one more week. Can I explain what wildcard and free hit do? So they both change your team completely. The difference is the wildcard team sticks. The free hit team only stays changed for one game week, then it reverts back to your old team the next week. You can use one wildcard before Christmas, one afterwards. With the free hit, you only have one for the whole season. Yeah, exactly as Adam says. King looked good pre-season, scored a few goals, looked in a bit of form. One game's not changed that for me. Okay. Change to FPL Physio says, change to your team next week. Interested to see your goalkeeper choice. So who do I have in goal? Foster or Fabianski? Okay, let me change it. It's probably not who you're thinking necessarily. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. There we go. I've got Foster in currently, but I will say that's because I've got King. If I didn't have King, if I didn't have a Bournemouth attacker, I would play Fabianski for sure. And I still might, because I could look at it as if King blanks, maybe Bournemouth will blank, and Fabianski will get a clean sheet. But I'm tempted to go for Foster against a Burnley team that don't score a huge amount of goals. I know it's away. And then hope that King can get one against Fabianski. I'm not sure. A lot of the times in the past when I've gone, that would be the higher ceiling move. I'm kind of betting on King doing something and Foster also doing something. If I wanted to hedge my bets, I could put Fabianski in and kind of think if King doesn't do well, then maybe Fabianski does. But right now, because it's Burnley, I'm going with Foster. 101 with Captain Mane. There you go. See, who needs Salah? You know Fabianski will keep a clean sheet. Will they, though? Definitely. Do I have a rough idea of which game week you're going to wildcard, or do you plan play it depending on your team. Yeah, I'll play it depending on my team. I may use it earlier this year. We'll see how much rearranging I need to do. The membership's open to everyone, the Fantasy Football Scout one. As far as I know. Don't think it's UK only. It's £12.50, and that's for the whole season. God, Rory, 104 points, very nice. Pochettino said that all players will get a chance early on. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think you'd be okay. No point in keeping King 6.5 million when Wilson 6. I mean, there is, because you don't have... you do have unlimited transfers as long as you're willing to pay points for them. But you can't take a player out just because they've had one bad game week. In my opinion. Otherwise, what did you bring them in for in the first place? I know sometimes you'll bring a player in, you know, it was like De Bruyne last year, for example. We all had him in Game Week 1. He was playing really deep, like a quarterback role, and we got rid of him. And I think that was fair enough, but we kept him for 2 or 3, 4 weeks before that happened. And then he started playing further forward. So I think to take King out based on one game is a bit premature, personally. I really need to change. If anyone's like a Photoshop wizard, I mean, I could try myself actually, to design me a nice looking screen UI where I can easily change my points and rank every week, that would be good. Bench Zaha, no chance. No. I will change the music. Thanks, Stephen. You're right. Do 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 do. There you go. Someone asked at the start of the stream, by the way, why do all YouTubers seem to play this same kind of music? And I tell you why, because you're allowed to. It's copyright free. Yeah, so for me, I kind of always play the same way. Like I could play Peltier instead of Zaha and bank on the clean sheet, but I think Newcastle looked pretty good against Spurs, and obviously Spurs are a tough side. And I don't like benching my first 7 attackers. Like obviously Stevens, I don't mind because he's just bench fodder, but I just don't like doing it. You know, strikers can get something out of nothing. Defenders, once they lose the clean sheet, that's pretty much it for someone like Peltier at least. So even though he's playing Robertson, I get that. There's just no way I bench Zaha. Not a chance. And I would not be anywhere near confident on Peltier keeping a clean sheet either. Defence, yeah, very solid fixtures. That's why I went for Man United in the end, actually, because they got nice fixtures coming up. Bit annoying they lost the clean sheet, but overall I think they'll keep enough over the next coming weeks. Thoughts on Sanchez to Sterling? I mean, that seems very knee-jerk to me because no one was really talking about Sterling. Yes, because we thought he might not play. But now suddenly he scored, now you want to get him in for Sanchez. I mean, it is Huddersfield and Sterling will play the majority of games, so you could do it. If you think that Sterling's going to heavily outscore him, then go for it. But I probably can't say often enough how valuable, personally, I think having 2 transfers is. Going into Game Week 3 with 2 transfers, that let you do a lot. Keep you really flexible. Remember, Sanchez does have Brighton away next. Yes, he only got 5 points, but again, could have had another assist for that Lukaku chance. Had a couple of chances himself. I mean, on the flip side, you could say maybe he got a bit lucky with the assist in the first place. You would say that because you're a Man United fan. Just look at Sterling's stats last season. It's a no-brainer. Well, if it was a no-brainer, why didn't you start with Sterling instead of Sanchez? Like, I don't know. That's my thinking. I mean, yes, I could change half my team now for the players that I've seen in Game Week 1 did well, but you only have one transfer a week, so you can't just knee-jerk players in and out willy-nilly. You should do a watch list section where you show us your list on screen and talk through it. Okay, spoiler alert, I don't use the watch list. But I did think halfway through this week I should. I really should use it. because I tend to get blinkers on too often where I'll forget that I thought about a player, or I forget that I thought, oh, hang on, he might be good in a couple of weeks. And it gets to that week and I've completely forgot I thought about him, and I just go for whoever I'm thinking about at the time. So I don't use it currently, but I should. Would I start Van Arnold against Liverpool or Peltier against Newcastle? I'd always start Van Arnold. I don't think there's any fixture I'd bench Van Arnold for. Any defender that's got attacking potential like that. Madison was trash. Nah, I don't think he was. We could do a quick fire. My only worry is that it's just going to be a bunch of, I'd wait till next week, I'd wait till next week, I'd wait till next week. If Sanchez took the penalty, you wouldn't be picking him over Sterling yet, true. Oh, picking Sterling over him. Worth noting, I think Sanchez created the highest amount of chances. I should go through my league, the top 10. Yeah, fair enough, I actually should. I'm going to guess you're in the top 10. Let's have a look. Let's do the public league. So, let me get the chat back up. Can you see that? Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm not saying that Sanchez is a necessarily good long-term option, but maybe let's give him more than one game. So, Uthman Bamath is top with... Wait, hang on. Oh, it hasn't updated properly yet. 101 points, but bench boost has been played. But what a bench boost. Jota, Cabaselli, Foster and Richarlison. But played Sané and Moira. Double Bournemouth defence. That's pretty nice. So top of the league has 100 and... Oh, hang on, 107 here. Yeah, it's not updated properly. 109. Hang on, let's see. I'll just go on the first. 112. Who's this? Ulysses Lucano. 112. No bench boost. No triple captain. Mane, Salah and Pogba. Oof. And Kane raring to go. Robertson, Mendy, Van Bissaka and Shaw. Look at that. 4 at the back. We all talked about it. 4 and 5 at the back. That is incredible. 112 points. Very nice start. Very nice start. Don't think there's anyone... I'm not going to go back through every page because we'll be here all night. Another 112, Timothy Wright. Who have we got? Again, the 3 left-backs, Foster in goal. It's all about that Mane. And then Fraser, 11 points. A very nice pick. Yeah, 112 looks to be the highest. I won't go back through anymore. And then let's have a quick look at the Patreon League. Oof, 108. Dylan on for the mug. Dylan is on for the mug in August. Not many game weeks to go. Edison, very nice. Double City defence. I said it. I almost had double City, double Liverpool. Would have been really nice. And Mane. Oh, that is a very nice team. Be interesting to see what happens next week though, because as we know, it's only one game week. So fair play for in the league. It'll be updated properly. I'll do it. Might show it in the next stream. And go for it again. 4-3-3, maybe that is. No, I don't know about 4-3-3. 4-4-2 potentially. Yeah, Joe Hart. Clean sheet, Burnley, very nice. Will he keep his place though once Heaton's back? Was Heaton even on the bench? Don't think he was. Thanks for the Mane stats, he killed it. Yeah, Mane. Really should have probably had him in. 16k 99, very nice. Oh yeah, polls. How long have we been streaming for? Nearly an hour. Once we get to an hour, we'll do the polls. Top right hand corner, you can click on the little eye. And I'll go through the polls. Make sure if you haven't already, hit the like button on the stream. Be much appreciated if you're enjoying it. And hit subscribe if you're new around here. We're nearly at 17,700 now. So going strong. Should we bring in Pogba? I think Pogba does look like probably the best option in midfield for Man United right now, but it's only one game week. Let's see what happens. Okay, Heaton was on the bench. Interesting. Then maybe Hart will get his chance then. Maybe he will. In which case, it could even be set and forget, to be honest. Yanks, how's it going, my man? Or woman? You tell me. Any player you were 50-50 about went the wrong way? Yes, but I also could have got... So I said this on Twitter. Most people will focus on when they were 50-50 and they didn't go for the good pick. But no one ever says they were 50-50 and went for the worst pick. So for me, the biggest 50-50 for me was Sanchez. And I could have gone Mane. Could have been more points. But I was also looking at Mahrez and Eriksen, who got less points than Sanchez. And Sanchez still has a nice fixture in Game Week 2. So, yeah, it could have gone better, but it could have also gone worse. Am I going to watch Match of the Day? I've got it recording. Probably won't get to watch it tonight now. Start Hart against Watford at home. I'd start Hart over Fabianski. I'd always probably start the Burnley keeper. What am I saying about Neves? He looked brilliant. He did, but this is a player that doesn't score many goals. It was a really nice free kick, don't get me wrong. And for 5 million, again, like Kante, maybe one of those two is a good fifth mid. Would I now start putting him into a kind of 4-man midfield or something like that? I don't know. He did. You know, his delivery for the second goal was really nice. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure I want to get on that bandwagon just yet. For me, he'd probably be someone that I maybe put in on wildcard, for example, as a fifth mid. Bench mid, that is. Switch Son or bench for now. I mean, Son probably needs to go. He's at the Asian Games. I don't know how long he's definitely there for. I don't know how long. I don't know what the minimum amount of games he can play is. There's probably some Spurs fans in the chat who know, but yeah, not sure about that. Not sure about keeping Son, to be honest. Rumours that Arnautovic is injured. I mean, that would be very interesting. Maybe people will just switch straight to Zaha. Fraser could be a bargain. Said he wanted to score more goals. Yeah, he did on his interview on Match of the Day. I mean, I'm always in two minds about when a player says that. I mean, on the one hand, I think, okay, nice, he's going to be focused on scoring goals. Maybe that would be good for him. On the second kind of point, though, I think, don't all attackers want to score goals? Did he really think, do you know what, last year I just scored 5. This year, though, I'll score 10 or 12. On Fantasy Football Scout, are you Andy_social? No, I'm Andy85WSM. Will I sub Richarlison for Game Week 2? Not unless he's ruled out for a good few weeks. Any tips on using stats tables on Fantasy Football Scout? Honestly, I'd build like, it's all, obviously once you remember, you can build as many as you want. So build a few and see what you like. I mean, personally, hang on, let me just grab them here. I basically have, I have quite a few as you've seen, but the main ones I use is basically I have one for each position: midfielders, attackers, defenders, not goalkeepers, and just look at their attacking stats mostly. And sometimes for defenders, I look at like their clearances, box interceptions, and stuff. But mostly I just look at chances created, how many touches do they get in the box, final third. Shots in the box, shots on target, stuff like that. Big chances, expected goals as well. So I do a mix of them and I have tables for each different position, plus a whole bunch more. What should I do with Sané? I'd be tempted to keep him for Huddersfield and hope that he starts. If he doesn't start that game, you've got to look at getting rid of him. You could go kind of aggressive and think, well, he might not start now against Huddersfield and get in someone like Mane or Eriksen even. But personally, I'd keep him for now and see if he starts against Huddersfield and go from there. How did King look? He looked like any time he was involved, it was not not in the box enough. Can you compare goalkeeper stats on Fantasy Football Scout like saves? Yeah, in the members area you can. And pretty much anything you can think of football-wise, you can. Ooh. Apologies for the typing. Should we remove King and upgrade to Arnautovic and Zaha? I mean, if you think that Arnautovic or Zaha is going to heavily outscore him in the next game week or two, then sure. Josh King looked like Josh King, let's not lie about it. He's a form player, he smashes it in patches. Hopefully starting in game week 2. The only thing about him, I don't know who I'd switch him for right now. Mitrovic, maybe. Maybe I go for a... I mean, what I wouldn't rule out, actually, is King out and another midfielder in, potentially. Different 6.5 midfielder. Yeah, I mean, what Adam says is about right. You pick those players thinking they were going to be good. They could be good in the next game. Why worry about after one match? Yeah, Mitrovic did look good, to be fair. So yeah, potentially I might switch into another midfielder. I'll see. In the back of my mind, I've got the fact that Sanchez can be a cheaper midfielder and he can give me some money to maybe upgrade elsewhere. So I could put Jota, whatever, to like Maddison, someone like that, and I could switch King and Sanchez. I could actually switch King and Sanchez to like Aubameyang plus a cheaper mid. That's an option too. Fraser, yeah, 5.5. So there's loads of options. I feel like I'll have a better idea after next week. The latest on Richarlison is none of us know. Let me check the polls. Okay, poll time. If you haven't already voted at this point, it's too late, I'm afraid. It's too late. You got to keep Jota in your team. You got to keep Jota. So we've had about over 600 votes, which is nice. Okay, hang on a sec. There's a good post on Fantasy Football Scout regarding Richarlison's injury, a hot topic. Is it by... Oh, it's by Facer. So Facer is a long-time Fantasy Football Scout community member. And he's... Oh, I don't want to give him the wrong title. I think he's a physio. I think... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Physio day. Oh, jeez. Okay, go and read that if you want in the hot topic section. Basically, he's saying... We can see him sprinting at full pace. He's then tackled back to his sweep swiftly and accelerates back to help defend. At this point, he's moving freely without deficits. The TV footage then focuses on a never-ending attack, which is conspicuously bereft of Richarlison on the left. Then pans to him with him lying on the ground, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. As an educated opinion, I would suggest that the Brazilian was fatigued and spent from a maximum... effort on a big money debut and suffered some cramping. Additionally, a few minutes later, we saw him sitting in the dugout with the other players. If the medics were worried about his injury, he would have been taken straight to the treatment room for a thorough assessment. So he thinks he's going to start. He's good. Seen posts from him before. If you want to go and read his full post, go on Fantasy Football Scout and check out the hot topic. He's usually pretty accurate in his assessment. So looking good for Richarlison. Yeah, Jorginho. I need to get that pronunciation off. Yeah, exactly as well. Silva would have probably said something if it wasn't cramp. He was on penalties, but as I forget, there's this guy called Eden Hazard that plays for Chelsea. He'd probably take him once he's back. Anyway, polls. For real. For real. Do you know what? In some ways, you're right. Yeah, if he wasn't flagged, maybe we'd get a rise. But at the same time, maybe that would put people off buying him. I'm kind of happy with that. I wanted to keep him as a differential as possible, as long as possible. So, are you planning the game week 2? I'm going to give my opinion on all of these. Although you probably already know. Are you planning the game week 2 transfer? No, I feel like you should probably keep it for the most part. So 70% of you saying no, and then obviously the rest are saying yes in various ways. Mostly just one. A few people looking at maybe 2 or 3 transfers. Sanchez, stick or twist? I think you stick. Brighton away. And then you wait and see for game week 3. Maybe use that money elsewhere. Only 55% staying stick with him. 44% saying sell already, which is interesting. Probably a little higher than I thought it would be. What's the code for your FPL League? It is in the description below, actually. There is so much info in that description that's below. It's unbelievable. Aguero, stick or twist? Surprisingly, I think you should stick. I would say it's higher than 55%. Oof. So bearing in mind, Sanchez was 55% stick. Aguero, 94% saying stick. Only the rest, the small percentage saying time to get rid. Damn. Lots of Sanchez haters in the chat. Chat. Which Man City mid is a must-have? So for me, it's got to be De Bruyne or Sterling. Personally. Now, maybe this again is classic Fantasy Premier League manager overthinking that Bernardo Silva will keep his place and keep going. But I just think, bearing in mind last year, how often they played, how good they were, De Bruyne or Sterling. Let's see. Bernardo Silva, 39%. Maybe it's the price. I mean, 7.5 million, fair enough. I can see why you're tempted to get him. But to have him as the top must-have midfielder, it's got to be the price, surely. Sterling 11 million, yeah, it puts me off. De Bruyne close behind on 31%. Sterling 17%. Mahrez only 4%. So Mahrez has fallen kind of right out of favour with you guys. And then 7% saying a different midfielder, apparently. 7% different mid. Really? Who's the best game week 1 bandwagon? I'm going to have to look at this because I can't remember the options that I put. Mendy, 42%. Yeah, everyone loving Mendy. I can see why. Richarlison, 28%. Yeah, I'd probably say that's a pretty good order. Van Bissaka, 20%. I mean, he's a good bandwagon because he's 4 million, but if you haven't got him, you're probably not going to bring him in just yet. He's really a wild card player. It's going to be annoying if you haven't got him as well because he's definitely going to go up in price. Pereira and Shaw, both 4%. So Shaw, obviously, initially 5 million, everyone really looking at him, but obviously there's been so many matches since then, another 9 matches since Man United played. The other bandwagons have come into effect, so there you go, there's your polls. Should Sterling replicate his points today a few more times? I think he'd be worth considering on a wildcard. I mean, he's priced at that price for a reason, that they think he's going to do the same as last year. And if he does, then yes, he's an £11 million player. The problem is, it's always just harder to justify, especially with salary in your team. And for me, if the likes of De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva are playing as well, then it would be a bit like last year when you had to have Sterling and not De Bruyne because he was cheaper. And I think it's just the opposite. So I agree that he could definitely live up to that 11 million price. But with the likes of Salah, I'm probably going to want a premium striker like a Aubameyang or something. I don't know if I'll be able to afford Sterling for 11 million. I maybe just skimp and go De Bruyne. We'll see. The leagues are properly updated, apparently. Not my end. Still got the wrong order here, I think. Oh no, it has. Okay, let's quickly have a look. Because someone's got 118 points in the league. Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. So Anton Janssen. It's got to be Janssen, surely. Again, I'll say it now. I'll say it on every show. Apologies if I'm butchering your name. 118 points. Bench boost played. Oof. Jorginho and Van Bissaka. I mean, that's a decent bench boost considering 2 players didn't do anything. Bernardo Silva, nice. Mane, Richarlison. No Salah. No Salah. Begovic and Tarkowski. Firmino captain as well. So 118 points without Salah and Firmino captain. That could have been a huge score. But obviously bench boost used. Salvador Gonzalez, again 118 points. No bench boost use. 161st in the world. Mendy, Van Arnold, Robertson. We're going to see that a lot. Keeper Kepa in goal. Yeah, see you later, Physio. Yeah, next stream will be Thursday, yeah. I think. Yeah, I don't see why not. And then Mane captain again. No Salah. Very interesting. I suppose that's to be expected because obviously he did only get 8 points, to be fair. So well played, Anton and Salvador. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of rank, a lot of rank changes. Over the next couple of weeks because it's still early days. Do I worry that Kane might be suffering from burnout? I think, yeah, he probably is. Not burnout, but he must be tired, yeah. Just played so much football in the World Cup, not really a proper rest, etc. Stuart, it looks like Richarlison will recover. If you want to check it out, click the link in the description below for Fantasy Football Scout, and there's a good hot topic. There's a hot topic section from an actual physio about whether they think he'll start. Looking good. How do price rises work within a player? So essentially, players get transferred in a lot, they go up in price. They get transferred out a lot, they go down in price. There's an algorithm which will say exactly when they go up or down. We don't know that for sure. We don't know exactly what the algorithm is. There's price rise sites like FPL Statistics, which is it .co.uk or .com? I don't know. But FPL Statistics, if you Google that, that will give you an estimate of when someone's going to rise and fall in price. Now, the earlier on in the season it is, the less accurate those sites are because they're trying to work out the algorithm. But yeah, essentially that's what happens. We don't know. I couldn't tell you right now exactly 100% who is or isn't going to rise. But yes, if a player starts getting lots of transfers in, they could rise. 0.1. The maximum is 0.1 million a day, and then maximum 0.3 million per game week. Also, I think a lot takes into account. Something that's taken into account is how much ownership the player already has. And the first rise, I think they'll need less transfers than for the second rise, etc., etc. But to be honest, I just check if I want to check. I just check FPL Statistics and go with what they're saying. Did I notice Ramsey playing as a false nine? He was very far forward. Yeah, I love Ramsey, and I think I've not had him in my team enough over the last few seasons. And in Game Week 3, I'm definitely eyeing him up. So to give you an idea of things I'm potentially looking at, and obviously this is after one game week. Who knows what my thoughts will be next week? But basically, obviously Sanchez out, and I'm looking at Sanchez to De Bruyne potentially, Sanchez to Mane, which would give me $1 million to spend. Then I could do Jota to Bernardo Silva or Ramsey, so that's an option. Don't know if I'm looking at too much else really, but it all involves Sanchez. If Sanchez does really well against Brighton, then totally different story. But they will have Spurs after that. So, and the other thing with Liverpool players, if I wait until Game Week 3 to get them in, and I don't know if I should take fixtures into account too much because of how good they are, but in Game Week 3 they got Brighton at home, which is great. But then it's Leicester away, Spurs away, Chelsea away, Man City at home in the next 5 games. So because I'm not getting Mane in this week, I'm not sure I will get him in Game Week 3. I'm not really considering Sterling because of his price. I don't really have 0.5 million that I want to get from anywhere. I mean, I could do buy to Shaw, but he'll have risen in price by the time I get to transfer out Bailly. So I don't really have 0.5 million to spare. Another thing is Jota to Maddison. But again, I'm not knee-jerking on that. One game, maybe even you could say one half for him. We'll see how good he looks. Should you keep Maddison? I think so, yeah. Could also look at Sanchez to... Sorry, I shouldn't really... have a penknife out. Sanchez to Mane, and then Bailly to a 5 million defender, and then Jota to Pogba. Something like that for a -4 in Game Week 3. But again, there's probably going to be price changes before then, so we'll see. How long will I stick with King for? Let me just double check their fixture. So West Ham away next. Then Everton at home, Chelsea away. So although we said that Bournemouth's fixtures were quite good, I did say that, you know, in the shorter term, they're not fantastic. But I think Everton at home is fine. Chelsea away will be tough. Then it's Leicester. Burnley away is not good. But I think overall, if you look from kind of now to Game Week 10, the fixtures mostly are pretty good. So I don't know exactly how long I'll give him, but there's a chance he makes it to the wild card. We'll see. Be nice if there's a couple of price drops on Son over the next 4 weeks. That would be good, yeah. Once he's back, I'm definitely interested. What is he, 8.5 million? That's a nice price. Never watched you before, but I have the exact same team. Exactly the same? Ooh, great minds. You could wait till Game Week 3, downgrade Sanchez and upgrade King to Aubameyang. Yep, for sure. Ramsey as well. Did I say Ramsey? I may have said Ramsey. But I'm looking at him too. I mean, I could do something like... I mean, there's so many possibilities. You know, Sanchez to Pogba, Jota to a 7.5 million like Ramsey. That would give me 1.5 million spent. So I could do King to Arnautovic if it's later on and Arnautovic's got some nicer fixtures. I don't know. There's loads of potentials. Thoughts on Gray? For me, he played better than Maddison. So I liked Gray, actually. I think he caused a few problems, especially again in the first half. He and Chilwell as well was really good. Caused Darmian and Mata loads of problems. I don't know how much chance there is of Gray losing his place. It's just whether or not he's got enough end product. It's hard to say after... Obviously, I've seen him play before, but he hasn't played regularly before. It's hard to say after one game exactly how it's going to happen. It does look like a lot of stuff's going to go through Maddison, which is good. And the set pieces helps as well. But it is 1 million difference. So if Gray can start showing some end product, I think for 5.5 million, he could be a good pick sooner rather than later. But if I was picking one now, I think it'd have to be Maddison, to be honest. Would I say a week 2 wildcard is too premature? Yeah, for sure. Unless your team's in an absolute state. I think you use the wildcard when you really need it. And if you've made some huge mistakes, then maybe you could use it now. But I don't know. After Game Week 2, we might not be talking about Mane, Maddison, Mendy, anyone. We could be talking about maybe Lukaku scores a brace. And suddenly, okay, well, Aguero didn't start against Huddersfield. Aubameyang's not looked great. Okay, he's got good fixtures, but he's not looked good so far. Lukaku's just scored a brace. Maybe now we're getting Lukaku. Probably not versus Spurs, but you know what I'm saying. You know, Mane did really well today. Maybe in the next fixture, Mane blanks and Firmino scores a hat-trick. Suddenly you're on totally different bandwagons, basically. What are my thoughts on Czech and the splitting defenders trying to pretend they were Barca? Yeah, I got to be honest, it didn't work too well. I think that's the way Emery wants to play, but I'm not sure Czech is the keeper to distribute. And obviously he had that really poor touch or that really poor pass where he nearly kicked it into his own net. So be interesting to see if he carries on or if Leno comes in. Exactly, that's the big one. What if Kane scores a brace against Fulham? Maybe I do Sanchez to Pogba and Aguero to Kane. Who knows? Who knows? So many possibilities. The possibilities are endless. And I don't like sitting here and saying just wait. But after one game week, you just don't have enough info, in my opinion. I'm sure there's some people who've made a really bad choice. Maybe they've bought a player that's not starting. That's a different story, I think. I mean, to be fair, you can say that Czech and Arsenal gave themselves some problems, but Man City did as well. Ederson made a few really poor passes. But obviously we've seen from Man City in the past that last season that they can do it week to week. Whole different ball game with Arsenal. What to do with the Aguero rotation? Thanks very much for the donation, Karen. I mean, we don't know if there's rotation yet. I mean, we know that he'll probably lose some minutes to Jesus, but really Aguero, the thinking on Aguero is not really any different to it was before we brought him in. We know there's a chance he's going to lose minutes. There's not really too much to say from today that he's going to lose any more or less. So, again, I think Huddersfield at home, you've probably got to look at keeping. For me, and again, I've got loads of transfers on my mind, but for me, longer term, Aguero is probably a Aubameyang replacement. But of course, he might even miss that game. Maybe he doesn't get started against Huddersfield. As a United fan, can you admit it's Liverpool's year? Hey, I've said it in loads of videos. I don't think you're going to win the league, though. I think as first 11s go, Liverpool's and City's are very close. The problem comes, and to be fair, Liverpool got a much better bench this year, but it's not Man City's bench. But there's not a huge amount in it. I think it'll be closer anyway. I think Man City will win it. The thing is, for me, again, Aguero is one of the things. You're not bringing Aguero in this week, probably. And if you've got him, you're probably not going to get rid of him. So there's no need to overthink or worry. Am I drinking out of my cup today? I'm not. Oh wow, what a lovely mug. I'm hopefully getting better ones. Actually, I don't know if I like this one. I might just keep this one. I've got the Patreon one. That's been designed. That one there for the winner of the month. But I'm looking at maybe getting a different one designed for the standard ones. Maybe do a couple of giveaways. Hopefully the guy that contacted me about it, hopefully he gets back to me soon. I do think it's overthinking to be concerned about. I mean, overthinking is the point where, yeah, okay, maybe you don't captain him, but it's not. There's no point in overthinking and worrying about it. You're not going to take him out. Yeah, a few people are asking about a standard mug. I should know whether to keep it like this or get a different colour done, maybe. But I kind of like nice and plain and simple. Do I do this for a living? I wish. I wish. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get rid of Aguero before Huddersfield unless you knew 100% he wouldn't start. You could Patreon yourself and win your own cup. Maybe I'll have to. Oh, of course I'm going to keep this mug for myself. I've only got one, so potentially I could get a different one. Peltier to start over Zaha, absolutely no chance. When can we buy some Let's Talk FPL merch? I don't know. What do people want? You having Pereira in your draft made me pick him and I stuck with him. Nice, Joe. Well, you should know. You know best. How's it going, Jansky? Luke Shaw's continued starting. Should do this week, yeah. Nim, you went Jota over Richarlison. Ouch. Hey, look, you still got an assist. How did the leagues work? You scored 96 this week, but your overall was 43. It's just not updated yet. Just wait till tomorrow. Shirts. We'll see. We'll see. I might get one for myself. Just sit on the stream. How's it going, Espen? Yeah, Fabianski. I may switch before Saturday. I'm much happier that it's a Saturday kickoff this week. I think the stream will probably be on Monday after the Liverpool game. It is much easier to stream on the Sunday though. It's Monday. There's a Monday night game for 2 weeks in a row actually. I feel like there's quite a few Monday games. It's Man United versus Spurs in Game Week 3 on Monday. And then in Game Week 5, it's Southampton versus Brighton. Maybe I'll just stream Sunday that week. Make sure hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream, and hit the subscribe button if you are new around here. We are nearly on 18,000 subs now. Crazy. Can I show my team? This is my team on stream. What rank would I be happy with? I really want to get top 5k this year. We'll see. If Liverpool win the league, I'll send you a signed Salah mug. Only if you sign it, Luke. Don't want Salah's signature. What provider do I use to watch Premier League games? What an interesting question. Sky. Will I ever not captain Salah? Oh, I don't know. I want to captain Aguero, but I don't know if I've got the cojones. If you have a Burnley defender, you're laughing. Watford haven't scored away since January 2nd. Is that true? Oof. How much weight have you lost and what's your diet? I haven't lost enough. I need to get back on it properly. Back in the gym this week. What's your diet? Just don't eat too much rubbish. Mane needs to be slotted in. I know, I'm going to wait on him though. I'm happy enough with that team for Game Week 2. Jota is on thin ice. So's King probably and Sanchez. The three on the right on thin ice. The rest, cushy. Right, people. I really want to keep streaming. I really, really do. But I think I'm going to leave it there. Much appreciated all tuning in. Really cool to see over 1,000 people watching again. Honestly, it's really, 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 really awesome that we're still keeping that up. I know obviously it's Game Week 1. People are still interested in FPL, and that will peter out over the season. But we'll keep it going while we can. But generally, the streams during the season are usually, for anyone that's new, 9:30 UK time, straight after the last game of the weekend. So Sunday today, probably be Monday next week. And then another stream on Thursday before the game week starts. And then for game weeks which have different start times and stuff, whatever, we'll figure that out later on. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all the links are in the description below. I've started to do more Instagram live streams now, so maybe 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes here and there after games, before games, halftime, just to talk about FPL stuff. So check it out on Instagram. I'm an old man trying to figure out how that works, so if I press the wrong button or something, don't panic. And if you haven't already, check out fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. Loads of stuff in their members area, loads of free articles and stuff as well. Link is in the description. Make sure to click that link. It's right at the top of the description. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time. If you're late, don't panic. You can just go back and watch it again. Cheers, everyone.